The night was black, the sea was glass. The lookout scanned the dark, then saw it, a ghostly mountain of ice rising from the water. He rang the bell 3 times. The order was late. The turn was slow. This is not the start of a story. It is the middle, the precise, unchangeable moment that changes absolutely everything that follows. On the decks of the grand vessel, life continued in blissful ignorance, warmth and light in the cold dark. Below, men commanded the engines, confident in the ship's immense strength. They did not expect trouble, but trouble was already upon them, born of a single mistake made hours before. This is the moment where the story truly begins to turn. It starts with small, seemingly insignificant mistakes: a warning ignored, a quiet trust in a timetable, a fatally slow reaction. In the wireless room, the ship's ear, several crucial warnings had come through the ether. One ship, the Masaba, sent a direct warning, painting a clear picture of the immense danger ahead. A clear, specific warning came through the airwaves. It provided coordinates for a massive ice field lying squarely in the path of the speeding giant. But the radio operator, weary and overwhelmed with passenger messages, simply put the vital warning aside. That single piece of paper never made it to the captain's hands. On the forecastle head, watchman Frederick Fleet stared into the piercing cold, but he was working with a handicap. The binoculars for the crow's nest were missing, locked away in a locker. The key was in the pocket of an officer transferred off the ship just before it sailed. A simple mistake. No one had considered it a critical failure. Through the moonless, freezing night, their naked eyes straining into the darkness, the lookout saw it too late. A colossal wall of ice materializing directly in their path.
Iceberg right ahead.
On the bridge, First Officer Murdoch reacted instantly, his voice cutting through the quiet hum of the ship.
Hard to starboard!
He ordered the engines full astern, but the titan of steel was too large, too heavy, and moving too fast to turn in time. The great bow began its slow, agonizing pivot, the ship's immense momentum fighting the turn. For a heart-stopping instant, it seemed they might clear it, but hidden beneath the waves, the iceberg had a jagged, underwater spur. The men on the bridge felt only a slight shudder, not a crash, but something quieter, far more insidious. To many passengers, it was a slight jar, nothing more. But below the waterline, the story was starkly different. Men heard a sound like tearing cloth, a long, grinding rip. The iceberg hadn't torn a gaping hole, but buckled the steel plates, allowing a relentless ingress of water. The iceberg tore gashes below the waterline, flooding the first 6 watertight compartments. In Boiler Room 6, a torrent of seawater erupted, overwhelming all efforts to stop it. Summoned by the captain, Chief Designer Thomas Andrews quickly assessed the fatal damage, studying blueprints he knew by heart. 6 compartments had been breached, 2 more than the ship could survive. As the bow sank, water spilled over bulkheads that didn't reach the main deck. A slow, inevitable cascade. The great ship was doomed. Andrews gave it an hour, maybe 2. As the bow dipped further, the crew uncovered lifeboats while wireless operators sent out CQD, then the new signal, SOS. Below, the ship's massive pumps were no match for the ocean. They fought to close the heavy watertight doors, but the design had its limits. It was a race against time. As water spilled from one compartment to the next, the crew prepared the lifeboats. The order was given: women and children first. But the lifeboats were a catastrophic miscalculation. The ship carried only 20, enough for just over half the people on board. Though compliant with outdated regulations, the law had not foreseen a night like this. The first lifeboats were launched half full. Fearing the boats would buckle, officers sent them away with empty seats, each one a chance to save more lives slipping away. The wireless room became the ship's last hope. Operators worked tirelessly, tapping out the distress call, CQD, SOS. We have struck an iceberg. We have. Nearby ships received the distress calls. The liner Carpathia answered, pushing its vessel through the dangerous ice field. But it was still nearly 4 hours away. Another ship, the Californian, was much closer, but its radio operator had just shut down his set for the night. The pleas for help radiated into the darkness, unheard by the closest potential savior. Ice warnings were received, but filtered through a sense of invincibility. The captain chose to maintain a speed of over 22 knots, pushing the ship through a known ice region. The belief was that any ice large enough to pose a threat would be seen in time to be avoided. The ignored telegram was not just a piece of paper, it was the first domino to fall. In the face of certain doom, people made small, intensely human choices. One man gave his place in a lifeboat. A wealthy industrialist gave his life jacket to his maid, facing the end with dignity. Simple, seemingly insignificant personal decisions, to return for forgotten shoes, to wait, to go back, changed who would live and who would die. As water crept up the grand staircase, the band played on, a surreal, defiant gesture against the rising panic. As the ship's final moments arrived, its forward deck dipped under the waves. The stern rose high into the star-filled sky, a black silhouette against the cosmos. People clung to any handhold as the angle grew steeper. Then the lights flickered out, plunging the ship into darkness. A thunderous roar echoed as the ship tore itself apart. The stern rose vertically, then began its final plunge. The screams of over 1,000 people faded as the cold did its work. Soon, a profound silence was broken only by the gentle lapping of waves against the scattered lifeboats. Dawn revealed a scene of quiet desolation. Survivors huddled in lifeboats, their faces etched with shock and grief. The great ship was gone. The rescue ship, Carpathia, arrived to find the heartbreaking aftermath. Over 1,500 souls had perished. Families had been shattered, a world shaken from its confident slumber. The disaster was not an act of God. It was a testament to human fallibility. It was built on a chain of small, interconnected acts, a missing key, an ignored telegram, a late order. Each act compounded until the risk became a certainty. Some blame the builders, some the captain. But the truth lies in the quiet, cumulative chain of events, the slow leak of human error, the subtle corrosion of overconfidence, and a warning given but not heeded. The memory rests in the twisted metal below and lives on in faded photographs. Divers now visit the wreck, their lights cutting through the eternal darkness. In the crushing silence, they feel the chill of that one missed warning. It's a thought that echoes in the deep. A single message went unanswered, and the sea turned that silence into a long, cold night.